Clearly, it was not enough for Donald Trump to just sick his thugs on Senator Alex Padilla yesterday. He also had to smear his name, not just with his mouthpieces in the MAGA media, but with a disgusting comment, a slur, he called him, according to biographer Michael Wolff, in a leaked report that we are going to get into. Incredibly disturbing stuff. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to subscribe to this channel, it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we get into this report from Wolff that is breaking in the Daily Beast, I want to hear from Senator Alex Padilla in an interview he just did detailing what happened on that day.
Right, the cruelty with which they're doing this, the increased cruelty with which they're doing this, escalating here in Los Angeles over the course of the last week. You don't need flashbangs, when you're trying to target one person. National Guard over, not at the request of a governor. It hasn't happened since 1965. And so, of course, they're instigating, trying to create the response and a reaction from community, and we'll point to anything to further escalate the situation. It's wrong, and it's counterproductive.
Senator Padilla, we're here on my colleague Ari Melber's program, The Beat, on MSNBC, and I know Ari wants to ask you a question. Ari, go right ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Jacob, and thanks to the Senator for joining us. You've now described the incident here for the first time. Do you view it as excessive force? As Jacob referenced, the administration is saying they were trying to basically do safety or security. Do you view it as excessive force or an effort to intimidate the opposition party?
Look, personally, I think it was excessive. I was in no way, lunging or threatening in any way. Again, consider where we were, in a secure federal building. I was being escorted. So definitely an overreaction, uncalled for, but it's not about me. Again, this is the biggest point. It's not about me. If they're willing to do this to me, a United States Senator representing the state of California, just to imagine how it's going with their immigration enforcement on the streets when they show up at restaurants and are trying to detain a cook, or outside a Home Depot trying to detain a day laborer, or on the fields in Oxnard a couple of days ago detaining farm workers. You can just imagine. But that's a tone and approach that this administration has chosen to take. In many cases, I'm convinced it's unlawful and unconstitutional. And I have to do my job as a senator to insist on information and accountability and the rule of law.
And Senator, what do you think would be the right remedy then for this? We saw in the case of the mayor of Newark, who was, like you, sort of, as you, the one word used was manhandled. He was arrested. He was charged. You were not. But then they dropped the case. He's suing them, seeking redress. Do you see this incident as closed, or do you think there is something more they must do to properly respect the co-equal branch of government at a time where the expansive use of federal forces from the National Guard to the Marines is also, beyond you, a big question? Do you think that more must be done, more accountability for the Trump administration for what happened today?
Look, again, it's not about me. I'm still processing what happened to me. But to the extent that we have shed more light on what they're doing and how they're doing it, the public deserves to be aware. To suggest that they have to come into Los Angeles to restore order. Look, Jacob, you know Los Angeles. It's a big, spread out city. The images that we've seen over the course of the last week of some vandalism, some violence, etc., that's wrong, and I denounce it. But it's very small and very contained in a big metropolis of the Los Angeles area. So the National Guard was not necessary. But folks have responded to that. It's the Trump administration continuing to escalate. A couple of days ago, he's saying that things are better now that the National Guard has shown up. If things were better, why is he now considering sending in the Marines?
I think it is so important that we hear the senator's story and we continue to combat the narrative from the MAGA media. This idea that the senator lunged at Kristi Noem is beyond absurd. It is a laughable claim, and that he was disrespectful. What, by doing his job? Oversight over an unchecked administration? Kristi Noem needs oversight. She might be the most unqualified person in Donald Trump's cabinet, certainly the most unqualified to hold her current position in American history. She is an absolute disaster, a pawn used for political theater. So yes, a senator representing his constituents deserves to call him out, and he does not deserve to have Donald Trump smear his name, which is what he did, again, according to Michael Wolff, in this leaked report that we're going to check out right now. Trump is calling handcuffed senator vile racial slur, author. Donald Trump is trying to justify federal agents handcuffing California Senator Alex Padilla by suggesting that he looked like an illegal, his leading biographer has revealed. Trump saw these pictures and then has been on the phone saying to people, no one ever heard of this guy, Michael Wolff, the best-selling author, said this week on the Daily Beast podcast, as though that's an excuse. And then he's gone on to say that he looks like an illegal. Padilla, the son of immigrants, was thrown to the ground Thursday after going to Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem's press conference in Los Angeles and trying to ask her a question. If you are famous, that would obviously put you in a different category, and ICE agents would not have tackled you, said Wolff, explaining Trump's rationale. Padilla is actually a relatively new senator from California. Nobody knows about this person, therefore, perfectly understandable that the ICE agents would tackle him, and of course, he looks like, in Trump's words, an illegal. This is just his visceral response. Nobody's ever heard of him, Wolff added, quoting Trump. We can take the blame off the ICE agents because they haven't heard about this guy. Wolff said that Trump was a little unsettled by the Padilla thing and is attempting to sweep it under the rug. Democratic lawmakers had seized on it as an unconstitutional outrage, and even two Republican senators, Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins, both in on and off Trump critics, have spoken out against it. He's rationalizing this in some way which might brand him as a complete racist once more, Wolff added, although I'm sure he doesn't particularly care about that. In response, White House Communications Director Stephen Chung recycled a previous attack on Wolff and said, Michael Wolff is a lying sack of S and hasn't proven to be a fraud. He routinely fabricates stories originating from his sick and warped imagination, only possible because he has a severe debilitating case of Trump derangement syndrome that has rotten his peanut-sized brain. This is disgusting. You attack the man, then you smear his name. It's gross. And it just goes to show how Donald Trump and his masked thugs carry out their raids. They do it based on what they want, what they feel, and what they see in a given moment. This is not about due process. It's not about law and order. It is about an unaccountable group of people acting on their own biases, and their biases are disgusting. It is gross. But as we always say, with the Trump administration, I'm not surprised, but I am disgusted. But it is incumbent upon us to continue to call this out. It's what we saw so many senators do yesterday. And one of the best examples, I thought, was Senator Adam Schiff, the other senator from California, the junior senator, who had this to say right here.
Let us remember who we are. We're the country of Jefferson and of Lincoln and of Washington. We are the country of John Lewis, and we are the country of giants. We stand on their shoulders. We owe our life, our liberty, the opportunity to pursue happiness to their brilliant legacy. We have come to the rescue and liberation of other worlds, of other parts of this globe. We have fought for democracy. We have championed democracy and human rights. We believed in treating others as we would treat ourselves. This is who we are. Alex Padilla face down in a federal building, forced to the ground by agents of the Secretary of Homeland Security. This is not who we are. I can't help but think of the words of my late and wonderful colleague Elijah Cummings, because they have always been such a potent reminder, we are better than this. We are better than this. We are not a country that sends the Marines into a city, not to restore order, but to create disorder. We are a better country than that. We are not a country that needs to have a parade honoring our president, to showcase our military might on his birthday. We are a better country than this. There have been giants who have served in our military. There have been giants that have served in this body. Great people. come from all different backgrounds. And the strength of this country is that is still so possible. You can come from any beginning and end up here. And we've been a country that has welcomed people from around the world because we've understood they bring their genius and their work ethic and their striving with them, and it has lifted our country forward. We have that beautiful Statue of Liberty, not because we disdain immigrants, not because we view them as a threat, but because we celebrate what they have brought to this country. And I think in the last several years, we have forgotten who we are. And every now and then, we just need to step back from the abyss and remind ourselves of where we came from, and that in this greatest nation on earth, what is possible. I didn't serve with Alex Padilla in the state legislature, and didn't get to serve with him or really get to know him well until I came to this body. And I told my colleagues when I got here, you're all wonderful people, but nobody did better than I did in who I got as my seatmate. And I mean that with all my heart. He is a good and genuine and decent and capable and brilliant man. I'll never forget that image I saw today. Because to me, it's the image of what's best in this country being brought to the ground. And so, Mr. President, I ask every member of this body to think about the legacy we've been charged with protecting and what we're going to do from this day forward to make sure that this incredible experiment in self-governance continues and that we never see an act like we saw 2 hours ago take place again in the United States of America.
We have to continue to call out this unconstitutional, this illegal, this disgusting act by Kristi Noem and Donald Trump's thugs. They must be held accountable. This cannot be an administration that acts with impunity. We must stand up. We're going to be doing that by calling it out on this show. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video. And if you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.